When it comes to a child's neurological and mental well-being, as well as their physical health, technology is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, technology opens up new worlds for children. On the other hand, it can hamper cognitive development, it can lead to diminished physical health, it can damage eyesight, and it can even lead to mental health issues. To top that off, most of us are guilty of using technology as a babysitter. Hi, I'm Liz Weaver of Learning Success. In this video, we explore these issues and give parents suggestions for creating a plan to help their children get the most out of technology without all of the downsides.
So research tells us that higher rates of screen time in early childhood relate to a couple of things later on. Developmental delays potentially, higher rates of obesity, and poorer sleep in kids in the moment, right? So when they're using it.
Really focus on being intentional with the way we use our devices. It's something that is so important with the things that we do with our kids. Because if we have no intention, then the rules can go any which way. So you need more than a tech plan. You need a purpose for the technology. You need to define things that say, we use technology that is wholesome, recreational, and allows us to connect better with our families. Or we use technology for the purpose of being able to connect and provide better accesses and resources to educate ourselves. Having these parameters allows us to really set the bar high and being able to do the things that we want to do with our kids, but allow us to use technology in a non-addictive way.
Try and implement boundaries and rules right from the beginning. So letting the technology be just a part of the whole entire life. You know, there's rules and regulations possibly around doing the dishes or doing, helping out with house chores. It's technology has to be included in those everyday guidelines of how to live together as a team.
So for us, intent of the device use is key. As a homeschooling family, we do use devices for that. Devices for education can be a powerful tool, just a great resource for knowledge and gaining it faster than you can anywhere else.
Because of course, screen time's not a bad thing. And technology is not a bad thing. It's actually such a gift and such a huge, new, amazing place for humans to exist and to connect and to interact and to learn. But it's also a place where we have to have boundaries, like anything, really. I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer with life, is there's just so much that can be taken in, and to be balanced, there has to be boundaries and limitations.
Using a device for everything a child does is extremely damaging. It damages their brain development. There are so many studies right now that are being conducted about the development of children's brain and the usage of device. It also causes loneliness. Children being isolated to a device, being entertained by that device all throughout the day, that being what gives them attention and keeps them occupied. We're creating loneliness in our children.
Like you, I'm worried about the amount of time that children are spending with screens, and there's at least two big reasons from the research that we should be concerned. First of all, we know that the more time children spend with screens, the less they report a sense of well-being, happiness, if you will. The second big reason is that the more time they spend with screens, the less time they spend in other critical activities that are necessary for early growth and development, things like unstructured and self-directed play. For these reasons, we need to be more purposeful, more intentional, maybe a little bit more selective when we do use screens when we're working with and interacting with young children.
My thing is that I like using technology to create stuff rather than consume. So anything that's kind of open-ended, I feel more comfortable with my kid doing and with myself doing. Anything that lets you, draw and paint on your device. Anything that lets you make music, tell stories, make animations, that kind of thing. And even with that in mind, I always like to tie it back into real physical stuff. So finger painting on your screen is great, but finger painting with real paints is important. You can't miss out on that stuff. Mixing paints and touching oil pastels and whatever.
So from a parent's perspective, YouTube is the new television amongst children today. It is that instant gratification. They don't need to wait till Saturday for the new episode of their favorite television show. It's just one click away on YouTube. And my daughter could care less about watching TV. She wants to watch JoJo Siwa or other kids interacting with toys or any information she can find on taking care of a puppy. The videos are really never ending, which leads children, I believe, to wanting more. And one could argue that there is some level of fantasy and creativity involved. When my daughter's not watching YouTube videos, she's pretending that she's a star in her own YouTube channel, creating skits with her own toys, giving reviews on certain household products, even turning her chores into a publicly viewed event. And I say publicly because we don't actually allow her to have her own YouTube channel or create her own YouTube videos. Those videos that we create stay confined to the privacy of our own home and for the enjoyment of us as a family only. But she will state, if you want to see more, subscribe to her channel below, as if she really is on YouTube.
So a good mix is kind of a good idea. Use those physical materials and use those digital tools, all in the service of making things. Even combine them. Maybe you record playing real instruments, right, where you can feel the vibrations and you can bang on the drum, and then you layer that into some multi-layered song on your device. Or you make some real physical stuff and you photograph it and you bring that into a digital animated project or video project.
As a mom and as a family, I urge you to kind of analyze how you're using it and maybe enforce some rules. Giving a child an allotted time is key. It gives them purpose when using it. They know that they have only a certain amount of time. If it's not being used for educational, if it's recreational purposes, then they know, okay, I have 30 minutes or an hour, and I get to do this. And then be strong and take it away. And then do something with that child outside of it. Have them cook with you, play a board game, do sight words, whatever it is that your child is needing or possibly filling a void with the device. Look for the siblings to engage with each other to fulfill that. Have them sit down and play Yahtzee or something like that, to where it's not we've fallen away from family things like that and replaced them with devices. So it's a very unfortunate thing.
Although technology can deliver education, it can also get in the way of learning. As children's brains become trained to always get those dopamine hits from technology, they also become desensitized to dopamine. This can cause problems focusing and learning. That's why the Learning Success System is so important these days. It can help you counteract the detrimental effects of technology by helping children learn to enjoy learning. It improves focus and attention in a world where those things are becoming scarce. Start a free trial today by clicking the link above.
We would not put our kids behind the wheel of a car and say, oh, hope it goes, oh well, okay, and not give them any training. And yet we hand them a smartphone that has access to the entire world with no training and just hope that it's gonna be okay. Too often it's not. We can do better.
It comes back to the adult in the house. There has to be models. Children, especially, from a very young age until around 7, and certainly afterwards, but that's kind of the birth to 7 are those times where children are going to imitate. That's the time that their brains are forming. There's a foundation being created, and if they see you on your phone, that's what they want to do. It's of course they want to copy. And So being really mindful that if you set rules for your children, that you follow those rules as well. And when you don't follow them, fess up and, say, oh, sorry, mommy made a mistake. This is why why I'm not going to be using my screen in the morning. I would prefer to be connecting with you.
Set phone-free zones in your home. In our home, this is bedrooms. So there are no phones in the bedrooms. They charge in the kitchen, and the kitchen table is a phone-free zone. When we're eating dinner together, no phones are at the table. That way we have places where everybody truly feels that they can connect. There's so much research coming out about teens saying, yeah, I think I have a problem with my phone, but so do my parents. So we want to make sure that we're both making the changes. This is something that we can do together. And really, that's going to be the secret to success with talking to your kids. When we say, hey, I believe in this. I believe this will help us. I believe it can help me. It can help you. I want the best for you. I believe in you. I trust you, but I don't want this phone to hurt you. When we can have those kind of conversations, we can really make positive changes.
Say morning routine, for example, if you're working with your children in the morning, there just is no screen time in the morning. It's more important to get out the door, to have more connection with whatever's happening in your morning routine.
Turn off all notifications. Did you know that the companies who are utilizing notifications, many of them are hiring the same consultants that the Las Vegas casinos hire to get better and longer engagement on their gaming machines. That's right. The same people trying to get you to go cha-ching over and over and over are being hired to get you to stay on your phone longer and longer and longer. And they are successful. Every year, the amount of hours that we spend on our phones is increasing. The only way that we can counter this is to get smarter and more strategic.
Many kids are now engaging more in technology time opposed to physical activity. Many years ago, play was associated with kids going outside and playing basketball or kickball or just running around with their friends. Now, play is really associated with technology. Kids want to play video games with each other. They want to play on their computer. They want to play something interactive or watch TV. They're really engaged more in that type of play.
Before I actually had a kid, I always joke how I thought we wouldn't use technology at all and we would just be, running through the meadows, and that wasn't realistic for us. This is part of our life.
As parents in this day and age, we are constantly thinking about screen time and trying to find the right balance for our children when it comes to spending time in front of smartphones or tablets versus playing outside and doing educational activities. I know that as a parent to an almost 2-year-old, this is at the top of my mind every single day as I'm trying to educate her and teach her about the world around her, but also trying to give her the chance to interact with technology and learn how to use smartphones and tablets safely and wisely.
We have many experts out there right now who are saying this could be the first generation of children whose life expectancy could be shorter than their parents. And a lot of that is due to the sedentary lifestyle, the poor eating habits, the lack of physical fitness, the lack of sleep, the lack of proper diet. So we really need to educate our children on what's best for them to lead a longer, healthier, more productive life.
I hope that this has started you on the path to creating an age-appropriate plan to help your child get the most out of technology while minimizing the downsides. Having a plan and sticking to it helps your child develop in the best possible way. Another way to make sure your child maximizes their potential is to start the Learning Success system. Learning Success will help your child fill in any gaps they may have while at the same time improving confidence and self-esteem. Lessons are delivered daily by email and take about 15 minutes per day. Right now, you can get a free trial. Just click the link in the description.